Hello, class. I wanted to record a quick screencast to give you an idea of what my expectations are for the IKEA Wiki that you're going to be working on over the next few weeks. I know it can be a little confusing navigating the Wiki in Blackboard, so I thought if I pulled up a previous course and I showed you what the students did within the Wiki, it would make more sense. What you're seeing on the screen is very similar to what our course shell looks like. It's slightly different because this was from last fall and I tweaked some things. But what you are going to see this week that's different from what you saw in week one is that there's a series of group tabs on the left-hand toolbar. You're going to see groups 1 through 3 because I've just created 3 groups instead of 4. So I'm going to click on group 1. You're going to click on the group to which you're assigned. So if you're not assigned to group 1, don't click on group 1. What you will notice is that the format is the same for all of the groups. When you initially click on it, you will see just the case study itself. And I put this here so you don't have to refer to the e-text to read it, but you can also refer to the e-text. This also serves as your home page for the wiki, but you're not going to need to use the edit wiki content at all on this homepage. This is simply a repetition of the case study that's in the text and you need to read it. Next, what you're going to see are response buttons. Response to question 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You'll also notice that somebody put a response here. You do not need to do that. You're not going to be creating any wiki pages. If you do, it's not a big deal, but you don't need to do that. I've already created the pages, and all you need to do is navigate to the response for the question that you have chosen. So each of you, in each of the groups, are going to pick a question 1 through 5 if there are 5 group members, 1 through 4 if there are 4 group members. You pick one question to respond to that you're going to take the mantle on. So you go ahead and you click on your question number. Let's say you chose question 1. And you are going to initially just see the question, what are IKEA's competitive priorities? What you'll want to do is do some research, and then you're going to want to actually respond to that, and you will type your response right underneath this question by clicking on Edit Wiki Content. When you edit wiki content, it takes you right into the space where I have the question, and then you have the ability to go ahead and reply underneath there. Notice that this student put a nice, well-substantiated response, and at the end, they have their sources in APA format. That was very well done. What you want to do as teammates following the response is to offer feedback. And you have the ability to comment right here. And you'll notice that I'm going to get in there as well and comment. So this is where the participation aspect of this group project comes into play. And this is why I chose to use a wiki rather than having you work in Google Docs, just because it's easier for me to track participation in the wiki. But I expect to see all the teammates reply to each other's responses. And based on those responses, you are going to want to make edits to your response. You'll have one group leader who's volunteered to then compile all the responses into one document that will constitute your group's analysis of the case study, and that will be what you hand in at the end. But you'll notice the same thing under each of these responses. So the individual picked question 2 would have edited wiki content, put their response here, had their references in APA format beneath, and then each of the teammates were responsible for giving feedback. One thing that is interesting is that all the groups are able to see what each other are doing. Now, I know the disadvantage is that you feel like, well, they're kind of able to snoop. But on the other hand, I thought this is also a benefit because it raises the bar for all the groups. You're able to see, what you're up against, and it might spur some ideas for you in your response. So they are all open to everybody, but you are only to type your responses in your assigned groups wiki. And that is it for that. In order to pick the response or question that you're going to respond to, you'll want to go to the discussion board. You'll notice that each group has a designated discussion board, and all you need to do within those groups, so here would be group 1, is to click on it and then specify which question you want answered. Now, what happened in this is that one student came in and said, hey, I'll be the leader, and then several people started to reply underneath her and then say what questions they would take. That's fine. I don't care if you all make a separate post or if you reply to the very first person's post, as long as you all get in here and pick a question to respond to so that everybody's clear on what each other's responsibilities are. That'll be just fine. But that, in a nutshell, tells you how to navigate your group's wiki. If you have any questions whatsoever, please get in touch with me. You'll notice that obviously your due dates are not September 18th and 25th. So do pay attention to the due dates for the initial responses and then the finalized case study. Other than that, you should be great, and I look forward to reading your replies to these questions.